So I came across this article that was on the Discord server that I'm a part of, and let me tell you right now, the imagery on the screen pretty much tells it all of where this is headed. And I'm not so surprised in the least bit that this is happening, because it's something that has been slowly being ingrained and pushed in over the years, that now the machine has started to rev up and it's about to really get chaotic. So this article that I'm going to read from is coming from something called christianpost.com, and the title reads, LGBT group pushes for 20% of all television characters be LGBT by 2025. 2025 is about 5 years away. And they say by 2025, which means that by the time that year comes, they want it to be complete. And y'all want to tell me that there's not an agenda being pushed here. Now, I know many are going to say, well, there are heterosexual characters all over the place. That's because that's the norm. And that's always what it's been since the invention of television. Last time I checked. But see, what it is this group, as small as they are, have a lot of funds. So a lot of people in studios are going to cave into that just for money purpose. If it wasn't anything monetary behind it, they probably wouldn't do it. This article reads, a major gay rights organization is pushing for 20% of all television characters to be LGBT by the year 2025. According to a report called Where Are We on TV, which was released Thursday from the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, also known as GLAAD, the presence of characters who identify as LGBT in television programming is key to changing hearts and minds and culture. That says a lot right there. It says key to changing minds and hearts and culture, and loosely translated, they're trying to rearrange the norm. I keep telling people, these individuals right here are anti-heterosexual to the core. Because, see, it starts in baby steps. It starts small, and then it gets to bigger levels. They said 20% of all television characters. Not 20% on a particular channel or a streaming service, but every network of every show, no matter if it's a sitcom, a drama, a reality show, a streaming show, or anything like that. Before you know it, it's going to go, and they want it to be translated. Because once they get this, don't think they ain't going to stop there. They're going to go and translate it and say, we want 20% of LGBT characters or the Alphabet Academy to be in film. In every film. And who do you think they're going to go to go to first? The groups that are the most accepting. Hint, hint. According to I already read that part. The report cites an online survey of 2,037 adults indicating that 1/5 of Americans ages 18 to 34 and that 12% of all adults identify as LGBT or other non-heterosexual, non-biological gender categories. Now, you know what's so crazy? They love to put out this stat, quote unquote, that black people, mainly Black Americans, make up 13% of the population. If this stat is indeed true, and I side eye both of them, the one about us and the one about them, but let's just say that that stat is true, they are only 1% behind us, with 1% to tie us, and 2% away from being above us. And these are the same people that will leech onto civil rights, something that was mainly, started by us and was for us, but was hijacked by every other group who wanted to claim oppression. GLAAD President Sarah Kate Ellis notes in the report that less than 1/4 of Americans have a close friend or family member who is transgender, meaning that many Americans learn about trans people from what they see in television, movies, and news. The online survey used in the GLAAD media report is more reflective of what many perceive about percentages of LGBT identified persons rather than the actual figures from reputable polling organizations. In June, Gallup published results of a survey in which respondents were asked to give their best guess as to how many Americans they think are gay or lesbian. The study found that a strong majority of Americans continue to overestimate the percentages by a significant margin. On average, Americans believe that 23.6% of the population is gay or lesbian. Over 1/3 of respondents thought the percentage was greater than 25%. 19% estimated the figure as somewhere between 20 to 25%. 10% guessed between 15 to 20%. Only 8% of respondents accurately guessed the percentage of U.S. men and women who identify as gay or lesbian was below 5%. Now that I do believe to be true because they have a very small population, but the way that they keep pumping everything out there, you would think that they are a greater number. That's why the people who got polled and they thought that the numbers was 20 and 15 and over 25%, because they keep pushing the image out there and it makes it seem like their numbers are higher. That's why when they keep pushing out these images of interracial dating, you think that the numbers are higher, but they're really not. But imagery in the media work hand in hand. If they can put it out there many, many times, they will psychologically brainwash you into believing that it's true. The Alphabet Academy has a very, very, very small percent, and that doesn't even matter what they identify in as far as classes: the L class, the G class, the B class, the T class, the Q class, the I, whatever, all those letters, those classes. Under that umbrella, it's a very small group, and it doesn't even matter what the race is or the gender. It's all in under that 5%. But the way that they push this out there, and because they are getting more of a push in media, even on a political side, thanks to people like Pete Buttigieg, as much as people don't like him, he is as far as we know, the first openly gay man to run for president. So now they're moving into political arenas. But people in that community don't really back him up like that because many of them just don't like him, or they don't fuck with him like that. But like I said, it's all psychological programming, and many people fall for it every time. A 2000 study from Gallup, where a large random sample comprised of over 340,000 U.S. adults was interviewed by phone, found that only 4.5% of the population self-identified as being a part of the Alphabet Academy. Gallup noted the percentage of millennials who identify as LGBT expanded from 7.3% to 8.1% from 2016 to 2017 and is up 5.8% in 2012. Meanwhile, the featuring LGBT identified characters in movies and television programming geared toward young children continues to grow. Earlier this year, children's program Arthur and My Little Pony included same-sex weddings and couples. Because I remember that thing with Arthur, it was talking about Mr. Ratburn and him being in a same-sex relation. And you can tell they forced that. Because I watched Arthur when I was a kid, and they never said anything about Mr. Ratburn being that way. Probably because it wasn't there. But the first time we hear about it, not only did they say that he was a part of the G class, but they also shoehorned him getting married at the same time. It's like, damn, they just laid it on thick pretty much. A 2017 episode of Star versus the Forces of Evil on the Disney Channel depicted gay couples kissing among others during a boy band concert. That same year, the Disney Kids series Andy Mack featured a 13-year-old character who realizes he is gay and comes out to his friends. And the thing is, another thing I want to mention before I forget to mention it, not only will they want to put people who identify as gay on television, but they have no problem taking a person or an actor who is heterosexual and having them play the role of a gay person. And if you was to say, like, not want to do that role because you say you don't want to play that role, then they're going to come out with the pitchforks, those rainbow colored pitchforks, and say that you're homophobic. Because, see, they don't mind seeing someone in a dress, especially if you are a black man. They enjoy that. Notice that whenever someone does something, maybe and they're heterosexual, and they play the role of a person who's a part of the Alphabet Academy, they get an invitation to those GLAAD events. Have you noticed that? And they get all kind of praises and all types of things. It's almost like you gotta go through some kind of machine in order to get to the next level. That's pretty much what they're setting up right now as we speak. It's so blatantly obvious now. But they'll sit back and say that it's not an agenda. And then they'll say again, what agenda are you talking about? They think we're stupid and naive and dumb and can't figure this shit out. We know what they're trying to do. And this article right here that I just read to you is proving it. Like I said, it starts small and then it grows. So after this is complete, the next question is, what are they going to do next? I mean, they've already tried. They've already in some schools said that you have to teach the Alphabet Academy history. In some schools, they're allowing people who identify as the T class to go to schools where there's majority male, like Morehouse. And Spelman is the opposite, where if you're a part of the T class, but you were born a man, but transitioned into a woman. So, there it is. And then they love to talk about toxic masculinity. So to make a man not want to feel like a man, or a male, period, feel like a male. Because they want more effeminate men. And that usually, sometimes in most cases, lead to being a part of the Alphabet Academy. But I also truly believe that it is part of depopulation. And see, now they have to target kids because kids are very impressionable. I even saw some comments where people were saying that Cissy Houston was homophobic because she said she wouldn't have approved of Whitney Houston being in a relationship with Robin Crawford. These are the same people that want to talk about fighting for equality, but whenever someone says something that opposes their views or something like that without being tacky or nasty about it, they're quick to throw out that homophobic slur, which, by the way, they continue to misuse that word, especially the part with phobia, because phobia means to be scared of something. I don't think anybody's really scared of anyone in that community, but this right here is actually a cause for alarm. It's not being scared of people per se in that community. It's almost like to the part where you're scared of what they're trying to do on a psychological level, on a mental level, what they're trying to push. As you can see right here with this article I just read. Not so much that they're going to try to attack you or like get into a physical confrontation with you and you run scared, like you're running for the hills, like you saw Michael Myers. No, it's scared of the legislation that they're trying to push. That's what's scary. Because it seems like they are like literally beating down every wall that's coming at them. I'm sure with the help of other entities, financially wise, because they pulled their money together and now they're getting what they want. But see, we all know where it started. It started with Obama and of him approving same-sex marriage, and it has boiled over from there. And that was the thing. He did a lot for them and they still criticize them, a lot of them. And let's not forget that some people, and a lot of people, especially if they're palm colored in the Alphabet Academy, are racist as fuck to not only black heterosexual people, but black gay people as well. Look at Milo Yiannopoulos, aka Tinker Bitch. Perfect prime example of that. And we all know he is nothing but a fame whore and an attention whore. He does everything for attention. But yeah, this is definitely, I'm telling you, this is we are still in the beginning stages of what's to come. And like I said, I hate that I have to say that, because I know it's going to be some more stuff that they're going to try to push and try to come out with. And the thing is, they built up such a huge wall that if you push back against it, they'll, like I say, come at you with the homophobic stuff like they usually do. But for them, it is strength in numbers. Not the fact that they are a low percentage, but when I say strength in numbers, I'm talking about numbers that have dollar signs in front of them. So people are bending the knee to them, even when they don't want to, against their will. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.